Sharing information on the internet is profoundly changing how we communicate. In the near future, using the internet will be as common as using telephone services we have today. In some cases, I suspect we'll hardly even notice when we're online. To give you an idea of how different things may be in just a few years, let's take a look at the future.
In focus this evening, Y2K compliance.
Countdown 2000, just 100 days away. And after all the talk, all the hype, all the fear, just how bad will it get?
Hey, Homer, weren't you the plant's Y2K compliance officer?
You did fix them, right, Dad? Because even a single faulty unit could corrupt every other computer in the world.
What if everything that could go wrong did? Y2K, the movie.
Morning.
How you doing?
People and your attorneys and your insurance people and your automobile airplane, they'll tell you everything's fine. They're lying to you. Everything ain't fine. We are this close to just going crazy, going to hell. It's going to explode. Everything, because they don't know, because who knew we'd run out of 19s?
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm driving at?
His book, Millennium Bug, was on the New York Times bestsellers list for 7 months. He has testified before Congress, and he is one of the best-known Y2K consumer advocates. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Hyatt.
When I testified before Congress a year ago, I said to them, I said, if you hide the facts, if you try to gloss them over with some sort of happy-face scenario that all is well when all is not well, then you're going to create the very panic that we're all trying to avoid. And unfortunately, and regrettably, I think that message fell on deaf ears. Because I think, by and large, the public is asleep. People are not aware. They don't care. They think the thing has basically been solved and it's not an issue any longer.
Embedded processors pose really the only threat as far as the Y2K issues is concerned, because of the fact that, for example, an ATM machine has an embedded processor. An embedded processor is hardwired to the circuit board, which means that that particular processor cannot be replaced.
On the most recent Navy utility survey, Nashville is still listed at a number 2, partial failure of water and sewer likely. Why do they still have us in those categories?
I don't know where the Navy's coming up with their basis for any probability that they're thinking that we are going to have one, and I have no basis, so it's kind of difficult for me to respond.
If we lost pressure for more than about 3 days, we would have a problem with mud starting to creep into pipelines, at which point we'd probably have to shut everything down and manually disinfect every foot of pipe. We have about 900 miles worth of pipeline. So that would be our biggest problem. Which is why we check real carefully with our electrical provider, and they assure us that we will we'll be able to have power.
We're completely Y2K compliant. Well, our main source of power here in Nashville is from TVA. Now, what TVA, along with every other major utility and every other utility in the eastern side of the Mississippi, is what's locked into what is known as the electrical grid. To give you an example, back about 2 years ago in the Northwest, what happened was there were some tree limbs that fell and got across a couple of lines going into a substation, I believe, out in Idaho. It was just kind of a domino effect. This substation went out and the next one went out, and eventually it just caused power to go out in about 11 states because the system that was left up running just could not take and handle the demand that was on the system at that particular time, and it just kind of shut itself down.
Most of these documents tell people to store water that night. You're going to have everybody in the city trying to fill bathtubs up that night.
We have in place a set of public announcements that will be going out the last 2 months to advise people not to all fill their bathtubs up at 12 o'clock or 11:59, so that our system is just like the telephone system, is just like everybody else's system. We are built around an average, we're not built around a peak. So if everybody hits our system at the same time, water pressure drops across the whatever pressure area you're in. So we expect people to prepare not at the last minute for their water consumption requirements.
I think what the government's doing is necessary. There needs to be someone in control of this, because this is a problem. There are still possibilities for problems to arise, not only on the rollover, but months and probably years. I think that they're doing a satisfactory job. I mean, they have a Y2K czar that's in control of the whole Y2K issue for the world.
There may be some behavior problems flowing from the spooky reporting about Y2K, in that a lot of people in an abundance of caution may do things like take some of their money out of the bank, store food, as you've suggested, beyond their normal requirements, and take other kinds of steps that could temporarily distort the normal patterns of business in our economy. I think, however, it's not likely that any such activities will, for example, cause an interruption of our food chains. No one's going to starve because of Y2K in America. You can put it down. You heard it here.
Play the stock market quite a bit. I'm going to slack off of that and just keep the money in my pocket.
Of course, I'm not worried about food, because if I'll go to City Cafe and eat if there's any problems regarding food.
People that is preparing themselves for this, and then the ones that's not, they gonna have it hard, and they gonna find the people that does, and they gonna hurt people, you know, try to keep themselves in the clear by keeping food, you know, taking from the ones that's already been prepared for this.
Not gonna buy anything extra, not gonna take any money out, not gonna hide anything or put up any water or food. Just the sun will come up the next day, and I'll come to work just like I always do.
A lot of people don't believe in it, but I do. I've went and bought canned goods, stuff that you don't have to heat up, matches and stuff like that to prepare myself for me and my children.
We got this milk, dried milk in case we need to reconstitute milk. We have larger quantities of things like rice and staple items that we're stashing up. We started off by buying a generator that we're going to have. It's in the garage, still boxed up and not hooked up, but we're going to have an electrician hook it up so that we can pull a switch and detach from the outside current if we lose power. And with gas that we're going to store in some of these containers, which are former Coke or Pepsi concentrate things.
My name is Pat Justice. I teach mathematics, and my husband is a doctor in Nashville. We went out and found a place in the country that will be equipped with power and water in case there are some failures here. We have a well, and it's run with an electric pump, but our solar power is supposed to be able to power the pump to get the water. We also, it was important to us to have running water on the property, so we found a place that has a nice wide creek in front of it. It's ice cold. So I guess it could double as a refrigerator if it had to.
The name of the store is 00 Emergency Survival Supplies. 2 zeros can be representative, of course, of the the date-digit problem with Y2K, or some people say double-odd emergency. You know, you've got the 72-hour supply chain, you've got mostly large farms, large production houses. The stores don't have a third stock room and two-thirds store anymore. It's maybe an eighth stock, and that's the grocery stores. So yeah, there will definitely be some problems in the fact that people just expect things to be there now. I think expect the government to take care of them. The soft pack military MREs, meals ready to eat, are an excellent seller. Those don't have to be rehydrated. And they also come with a water-activated heater pack, which may be one of the more strange items to folks who aren't used to these. Basically what you have is an entree in a Mylar-type packet along with quite a few other side items in there. But you have a heater pack that you just simply slide your entree inside with about 1.5 ounces of water and wait about 5 to 15 minutes and you've got a hot meal.
And with this system, you've got water pressure, you've got showers, sinks, toilets, and everything that works just like normal.
When the air is gone, this turns green. Then you just press down to hit the second button. That sets off the heat seal.
As you find your way into the woods, you can always leave a trail behind you so you can find your way back. You've been great.
With small arms, we can protect our freedom.
They call me a profiteer for having a company called Y2K Seeds. They feel that I am terrorizing the situation for benefit of myself. People do not want to be responsible for the outcome. They would like to blame it on somebody else. They will blame it on me. They will blame me for creating a food shortage.
The naysayers and the doomsayers have something very fundamental in common. They both believe they can predict the future. The naysayers say nothing is going to happen. The doomsayers say it's the end of the world as we know it. And I think there's too much conflicting evidence to make a judgment one way or the other.
Are you prepared to accept your preparations? If you have done nothing and things are really bad, then you're going to suffer the consequences a lot more than I would.
I really don't think anything's going to happen. I think they've already blown it out of proportion. Well, there's a lot of things could happen. The banks could go on the round page.
The banking industry issued a sermon of suggestions with dealing with Y2K. I consider the whole issue of Y2K a technical issue, not primarily a theological issue.
They want control. Whoever they may be, whoever you want to paint as they, I paint they as Lucifer. He's been the evil force behind this whole action all along.
Fear is going to be the thing that makes or breaks us. Fear can actually create the problems that we're foreseeing with the Y2K.
I think it's going to be a little more intense than the government has told us so far.
But there's one thing I can say. I don't want to be flying the end of the year.
It's much more likely that significant power failures, whole power grids going down and staying down, could happen in other countries, in other parts of the world.
Now that we're edging up on this, we need a stimuli to move us there because of the fact that all of our expectations of the future would be for it just to be another day.
I think it does certainly illustrate how technology does affect us. It affects us not only technically, but it affects us in terms of emotion, it affects us in terms of theology, our belief system, and it also affects us in terms of our fears and anxieties. What history will say about this whole furor, I'm not sure.
You're watching Sleepcore. Pleasant dreams.
Whether you are a student doing research for a class project or a professional gathering information on a client or competitor, the Internet can help you with risk. Do I have to be a computer geek to use the Internet? No. While it is true that it used to be an unfriendly environment, so many are now online that the Internet has become easier to use. With today's graphical web browsers and mouse-click access, learning is a breeze. Don't be intimidated by jargon or technical terms. This presentation is designed to show you how to choose an Internet connection for yourself and introduce you to some useful resources once you are online. Okay, so what type of information is on the Internet? The Internet is made up of thousands of individual computer networks, which are each identified by a different name. For example, NASA's computer network on the Internet is nasa.gov. Let's take a closer look at that name. NASA is the name given to the network by its operators. The last three-letter extension, gov, tells us what category this site falls into. Internet networks inside the United States are assigned three-letter extensions based on the following categories. Education. Most major universities have at least some information posted on the Internet, which includes papers and studies, as well as research tools. Educational network sites are given an EDU extension. Government. These networks include all types of government information, including any government libraries or research centers. Government sites have a GOV at the end of their names. Commercial. Commerce on the Internet is one of the fastest growing segments. This can include everything from car dealerships to computer companies. Any commercial Internet network is assigned a COM suffix. Organizations. Non-profit and special interest organizations on the Internet, such as Greenpeace, are given the three-letter extension ORG. Military. Although some of these sites fall under the GOV suffix, certain military organizations are recognized with the MIL extension. Foreign sites. Computer networks outside the United States do not usually use the three-letter suffixes. Instead, they use their two-letter country code as their suffix. Section 2. Parts of the Internet. The services on the Internet are divided into different categories. Here are brief explanations and examples of the facets you are likely to use. Email. This is the most popular use of the Internet. Simply put, email allows you to send and receive messages to and from different people all over the world. You will also find that you can join mailing lists, which provide you with useful information on many subjects. FTP, File Transfer Protocol. FTP allows the user to access Internet computer networks, which serve as libraries of computer software. Using FTP, you can copy this software to your computer for your own use. World Wide Web. The World Wide Web is a collection of Internet resources presented on full-color computer network sites called pages. These pages contain text and pictures, even sound. The World Wide Web is the fastest-growing part of the Internet. News groups. What are your interests? No matter what the answer is, you will probably find groups of people on the Internet who share them. You can post your ideas and comments to these people using news groups, which are a kind of global bulletin board. All this with no long-distance charges. Information can be gathered from all over the globe. Connect with people in faraway countries. As long as the phone number you dialed in order to connect to the Internet is local, you pay no long-distance charges. Some Internet lingo you will use. Now that you understand some of the parts of the Internet, here are a few useful terms that everyone needs to know before signing on. Username. This is your online identity. Depending on how you access the Internet, this name will vary. Some services allow you to pick your own username, while others are not quite so democratic. This username is how you will be identified while online. Password. This is your online security blanket. After choosing or being assigned a username, you will be asked for a password. The password keeps unauthorized people from accessing your Internet account. Service provider. This is a company or institution which gives you Internet access. By using the modem in your computer, you can call the service provider's computer network, log in with your username and password, and use the Internet. Think of a service provider as your home base on the Internet. Email address. In order for people to send you electronic messages, you will need an email address. No matter how you access the Internet, your email address will always look something like this. Your username @service provider. Site name or Internet address. This is the location of an Internet computer network. For example, the White House might have the following Internet address: whitehouse.gov.
Deep in the fringes of cyberspace, a group of high-tech media activists developed a new and radical technology. Using traditional CD-ROM and DVD platforms, a new media was created that would interact with its subject's DNA. It was media with a purpose, information with an agenda, creating an active and revolutionary audience. They called it techno-consciousness. But, just before this invention could be released to the world, it was stolen by a large and evil multinational corporation. Now, they've come to take it back.
Picking up a package for Mr. Conspiracy?
No. How did you get in here?
Okay, what over on the couch? That technology's red zone. Who are you guys? It doesn't matter. The fact is that we're watching you right now, collecting all of your data. Just chill and we'll be quick. We're totally non-violent, so if you cooperate, the whole process should only take a few minutes.
And this truck is so slow.
We're only here to get what was taken from us. So just chill and count the next 10 minutes real slow.
flash, it's a story of a car. A road movie to go far. Come on, let's go. It's a fraction of an idea. Like in a flash, it's a story of a car. A road movie to go far. Feels new sensation. Temperature movement. Remote perception. It's all we really want.
We have left, we're going to go back to the command center of America Online now, because ABC's Jack Smith has been there all this time, Jack, and I have to tell you, to be perfectly honest, I thought you'd gone home. Please don't take that as a defense, but what's been happening there? We were asking the chairman of AOL a little early on about internet traffic this year, and he said he thought it was up. What's actually happened in terms of communications through the internet in the last 24 hours?
Well, the word here from AOL is Y2K okay. No news is good news. Nothing really has happened here. They anticipated, just to make sure, they anticipated that things could go wrong, so we've been on generator power here, not the local electrical company, but generator power here for a number of hours, just in case something happened. Well, it didn't happen. Now, if you look behind me, you can see the operations center. This is where all the traffic of the 20 million subscribers to AOL, the world's largest internet company. This is where it's monitored, and you can see, if you look on the back, you see those graphs there. You can see that they dip down sharply, and in some cases they pop back up. That's when the midnight happened on the East Coast, and people would log off of their computers, log off of the internet, so that they could kiss their wives and wish everybody around them Happy New Year, and then some of them have been logging back on. But as you can see, traffic is pretty low, and this is typical for this time of year. The slowest night of the year, we're told, on the internet is Christmas Eve, and the second slowest night is New Year's Eve. For obvious reasons, people have other things to do. Well, normally, this building normally has about 700 employees. There are 200 or so working tonight, and that's an unusual number. Normally, they would be far, far fewer than that. As you can see, this is pretty well staffed here, and that's unusual. They were worried that something might happen, as we all were, but nothing did.
Jack, I apologize for having kept you so long today. Have you, the only ironic Y2K computer glitch that I am aware of is having to do with the web page of the official timekeeper, the atomic clock. Have you heard that?
No, I didn't hear that.
Well, I'll come to that in a second rather than make you just stand there. But have there been any glitches throughout the internet system as best you can tell today?
No. It's been remarkably quiet as the new millennium has moved from New Zealand and across the Pacific and so on. We've been watching the internet. A number of AOL subscribers are overseas, and there have been absolutely no anomalies. No anomalies at all.
Answer one question for us then before you go home to a much deserved rest. It's the question I think all of us ask as we increasingly get involved with email. How secure ultimately are our emails as we communicate with each other around the world on an occasion like this?
They're not as secure as you think they are. Email, you have to assume when you send an email that the whole world can read it. It's not secure like mail is. At least you can seal an envelope and you can see if it's been steamed open, and most people, very few people, bother to steam open your mail. Email's a little different. People can read it, and almost anyone can certainly tell that you've sent email and where it's gone to. Email is a very different animal.